Does lifting with a rounded back or lifting with your back in general equal Snap City? The short answer is not necessarily. Although there's a strong correlation pa rin. Also, let me explain. So, it makes sense to conclude na lifting with entirely with your back or lifting with a rounded back is quote unquote bad or gonna snap your shit up. Yung gaya na nakikita natin sa mga workout fail videos of beginners lifting with a completely rounded back, obviously fucking up their spine, and of course holy shit, the almighty Jeff Cavalier, form perfectionist, and the ego lifting pulling with a rounded spine himself. Holy fucking shit, the hypocrisy. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about him today. So yung topic natin is lifting is lifting entirely with your back, particularly with a rounded spine, bad? Not necessarily. Although yes, for the most part. Well, there are still conditions wherein they will not lead to injury. In fact, they will do the opposite. They will fortify your back muscles as a whole and prevent it. So basta basically parang think of it this way. It's not so much the rounded spine that causes people to get snapped up. Remember, quoting Louis Simmons, the best lifting coach ever: weak things break. In other words, virtually everyone who injures their lower back, any joint actually, any body part, pero particularly here, lower back, has a weak back. Obviously, if you're weak, you're more prone to get injured. But think of it this way: majority of everyone who has a bad back, guess what, does not even work out. So how can you conclude na it's the lifting itself that causes injuries? You can't. Although it could exacerbate that if you use terrible form, that's true. Pero how about the majority who do not work out yet still have fucked up lower backs, and guess what, still injure their lower backs despite not even lifting? How could that be? Weak things break. A weak lower back is virtually only counting down to the time when it's about to get injured. So the answer is yes, it could exacerbate it kung terrible enough yung form, pero by itself, no. If you do it properly enough, lifting with your back, rounding your back, it's not bad. In fact, it could be good. Anyway, so speaking of, I'm gonna show you something that demonstrates that. Okay, so gawa ko ng isang barbell rowing variation which I haven't done in a long time. Enough talk, let's just check this out. I will explain later. Okay, so ano siya? Um, um, Variation siya ng bent over row wherein ano, pinag-combine ko yung tawag dito, Jefferson row, basically a barbell row wherein rounded yung back mo, tsaka Yates row, aka yung really upright angle barbell row wherein you can lift a lot of weight. So ano, of course you don't have to remind me. Deliberately ko rin around like shit yung back ko with the intent to directly work it. So ano, yeah, ano lang naman siya. The exact same ng Yates row. Work niya yung lats, upper back and traps natin, a little bit of rear delts and lower traps din. Pero the major difference is directly mo nang wina-work yung iyong lower back or spinal erectors. Now, ano, comparatively speaking, actually not really, pero compared sa ano, very very cheated na row, which I don't recommend for everyone, tawag dito, a bit less weight yung mabubuhat mo. I mean, sure, 205 pa rin yun, pero guess what, I've ugly cheat rode all the way up to ano, between 250 to 300. Cheating form of course. Pero yun, yeah, other than the spinal flexion, strict pa rin siya. And obviously, since you're putting yourself in spinal flexion, yun nga, still don't go too crazy with the weight. Even though you can say na appreciably heavy pa rin yan. So ano, wait lang, I might show another working set, might increase the weight a bit. Hold on. Okay, so I changed my mind, hindi ko napapakita lahat ng sets. So ano, really for the most part ganun din naman yan eh. So anyway, ang point ko dito naman yan is this. Going back to the weak things break quote ni Louis Simmons. The reason why you have back pain and are at risk of lower back injury, it's not because you're lifting, not even because you're lifting with your back. It's primarily because your back is weak. And how do you strengthen it? Guess what? By working it directly. Give it this way. The squats and deadlifts, they require sila ng strong lower back. They do not directly work the lower back. Why? Kasi there cannot and should not be flexion in those exercises, or else poof, you're gonna destroy your lower back. Anyway, ito ba? Ito yung condition on spinal flexion and extension exercises. Comparatively speaking, even though you're still gonna be aiming to lift as heavy as possible, yung weight na bubuhatin mo sa kanila obviously much less kaysa dun sa other even bigger compounds. I mean, sure you saw me lifting 205 for rows. Probably could bump it up to mga 215. Pretty good for a relatively strict exercise gaya ng barbell row. Pero again, comparatively speaking, magaan siya compared sa sa squats and deadlifts. Tapos remember yung pinakita ko sa inyo dati na yung flexion brace shrugs. Yun naman, yeah, sure, heavy yung mabubuhat mo, pero since you're not really standing all the way up, hindi ka malalagay in a very very compromised position, at least not nearly as much as pagka tatayo ka all the way up dahil sa squats and deadlifts. So yeah, that's there's another awesome pulling exercise wherein deliberately mong flex yung spine mo, ay nalagay mo yung sarili mo sa just a compromised position in the effort to strengthen yourself. Hindi compromised positions. So kumbaga pagdating ng point na alam yun hindi mo na kailangan ilagay sarili mo sa compromised position, it feels like a joke by comparison. And even if the time comes na malagay ka accidentally, well, guess what? That much more resilient ka to getting injured. Kaysa sa, well, una kasi you deliberately, directly strengthened the musculature associated with that. Particularly in this case, the lower back. Whereas kung halimbawa, obsessed ka with perfect form all your life, tapos hindi mo tinitrain directly yung lower back mo, hence why it's weak. The moment na malagay ka sa compromised position, or even if hindi ka malagay, just by the fact na weak yung spinal erectors mo, your chance of injury is pretty high. Be careful with that. So yeah, that's it. Kumbaga as with any body part din naman actually. Although particularly kung in-specify yung lower back here, it's not the movement itself, it's the fact na your lower back is weak. For proof, the average office worker who injures his or her lower back picking up pieces of paper does not lift. How could he or she injure his or her lower back when he or she does not even lift? Of course, obviously ma-exacerbate ang injuries pagka mag-lift tayo with horrible enough form and don't strengthen our weaknesses. But other than that, yeah, it's not the movement itself, it's the weak musculature and sometimes surrounding connective tissue. So long story short, don't be afraid to train him directly. Though of course be careful, don't train like an idiot. And from there reap the rewards of a very resilient body. There's a reason why I lift so fucking heavy pero I've never been injured in my 11 years of lifting. I swear. How could I be so resilient to injury after ilang decades ng di ba ilang decades? More than a decade of training. Hard and heavy. Harder and heavier than you. Most of you. Obviously, I listen to the best. Therefore, I absorb only what is the best. Hopefully, you can and will do. That is all. Thank you. Signing out.